A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into Texan Live's coverage of the 2015 St. Paul Johnson Showcase #1 as the #2 USA Today poll ranked Atascocita Eagles taking on the hosting St. Paul Johnson Governors. We appreciate you tuning in to us here for today's coverage at TexanLive.com. Of course, the Atascocita Eagles coming away victorious last night in an 11-point win against the De La Salle Islanders. Face another tough challenge today in the St. Paul Johnson Governors. St. Paul, the runner-up in the 2015 Minnesota State Championship game last year. They've actually won a state title back in 2010. They're a 9-time state tournament team, 9 years in a row, that is. So it should be a good matchup here this evening as the Eagles play their final game here in the tournament this weekend. And as I said, victorious over De La Salle last night, led by #3 Carson Edwards. Had a huge game in the second half. Eagles actually trailed by 2 at halftime and just came out and went on a huge run to open up the third quarter. So with that being said, we're 40 seconds away from tip-off. We're going to take a break until after the national anthem. You're listening to Texan Live's coverage of Atascocita High School basketball.
For the Governors, 6'1" senior guard, #1, Andre Smith. For the Eagles, 6' senior point guard, #3, Carson Edwards. For the Governors, 6'3" senior forward, #3, Derek Seedschlaw. For the Eagles, 5'11" senior guard, #11, Greg Shedd. For the Governors, 6'3" senior wing, #4, Carlin Clark. For the Eagles, 6'4" senior small forward, #32, Matt Wilroth. For the Governors, 6'5" senior center, #2, Savion Benton. For the Eagles, 6'3" senior forward, #14, Stefan Moorhead. And for the Governors, 6'1" senior guard, #5, Savon Parker. The Governors are coached by Herman Simmons, assistant coach is Andy Williams and Colin Moore. The Eagles are coached by David Martinez, assistant coaches Monte Cole, Chris Brown, Jacoby Coleman, Jerry Orr.
And welcome back into Texan Live's coverage of the 2015 St. Paul Johnson Winter Showcase #1 as the Atascocita Eagles will take on the hosting St. Paul Johnson Governors. You heard the starting lineups, but we'll give them to you again. For the Atascocita Eagles, Carson Edwards, Greg Shedd, Stefan Moorhead, Matt Wilrod, and Fabian White. And for the Governors, Andre Smith, Savion Benton, Derek Seedschlaw, Carlin Clark, and Savion Parker. As getting ready for the opening tip here at St. Paul Johnson High School. Fabian White going to be in the middle for the Eagles. And Savion Benton going to be in the middle for the Governors. And the opening tip will go to the Eagles as Edwards, the ball handler, over to Shedd in the middle. Shedd back over to Edwards up top. Down to White. And White's shot's blocked and rebounded by the Governors. Cesag with 3-point, no good. Rebound by Edwards. Edwards back on the break. And hustle back down to White. And White, no good. But called for a foul.
Shooting foul number 4, Carlin Clark.
Foul called on number 4, Carson Clark. White can come to the line to shoot 2. And first one, good. And second one good, so White goes 2 for 2 here to open up the game in free throws. Nice pressure there defensively by the Eagles. And they tip Moorhead. And almost a nice recovery, but it is a great recovery there by the Eagles. Pass down to Edwards. Edwards wide open. And good for 2 in the middle.
Timeout, Governors.
So a quick timeout for the Governors. They're going to take a timeout on the court. We'll take a timeout here on TexanLive.com.
30-second timeout.
Allspa's is so much more than Ace Hardware. Sure, we have nuts and bolts, lawn and garden, faucets and fixtures, lights and locks, even outdoor cooking. But Allspa's is also a boutique, featuring the finest names in jewelry and home accessories. But most importantly, Allspa's is a friendly, helpful family of people who take pride in their products and services. Allspa's is Ace Hardware, and so much more.
And welcome back out to St. Paul Johnson High School. Tascasita opens the game with a 4-0 lead. 2 free throws by Fabian White, followed by a 2-point layup from Carson Edwards.
We have brisket, sausage, chicken that's cooked fresh every
So
day.
Cesag with the ball.
Fresh every day.
Over to Clark.
Best turkey.
And 3-point try, no good. Eagles with another good rebound. Something they couldn't do in the first half. Edwards, here's Edwards for 3, and that one's good. So Eagles going to open up this one. 6-0 run. And Smith with the ball up top. And foul called against White. As Keelan Jackson checking into the game, sophomore center for the Governors.
35, Fabian White, his first, team's first.
White's first foul of the afternoon. Here's the inbound to Parker. Parker over to Clark, down low. Clark looking for his open man, back over to Parker. And a nice steal there from Matt Wilrod for the Eagles. Quick pass to Carson Edwards. And Edwards with the 2. So Eagles staying on a big run here to open up the ball game. And 3-point try, no good. Nice rebound there by Moorhead. Moorhead back over to Shad. Shad will bring the ball back down. Shad back over to Edwards. And nice pass back out to Shad. Shad up for 2, no good. And rebounded there by the Governors. Smith with the ball. Big pressure right there trying to get their hands up, and that one's thrown away. Nice recovery by Shad. Shad over to White. White's going to drive down the lane. Back to Wilrod, and that one's good for 2. A big run here to start the ball game. 10-0 Eagles lead, 15:28 remaining. As that one in and out of the bucket, but rebounded. Eagles get their hands up. They're going to be called for a foul. That one's going to go against number 32, Matt Wilrod. His first foul of the afternoon. That'll bring Jackson to the line, shooting 2 free throws. And Jackson's first one, no good, off the rim. So LaVille check in for the Eagles. Moorhead going to check out. Smith going to check in for the Governors, along with Sleet Slag. second free throw try good. So the Governors get their first point of the afternoon 5 minutes into this ball game. So Edwards going to bring the ball back in. Over to LaVille up top. Back down to White in the middle. And over to LaVille. LaVille with big pressure on him. And Wilrod in for two. And the Eagles continue their big run here to open up this ball game. So wide open three-point try, good. So down to White. Almost out of bounds, shots blocked, but it would be Eagles possession. As Benton just got a hand on that one for the Governors. So Edwards into LaVille. LaVille with the moves there. Shakes him in off, loses the ball. White able to recover it. And White's going to get, check that, Governor's going to get called for a foul.
Personal foul, number 33, Keelan Jackson, his first.
Going to be called against number 33, Keelan Jackson.
Fabian White to the line, shooting two.
Going to send White back to the line. Good for two free throws here to open up the ball game. And first one no good. So A.J. Smith going to check in. Wilrod going to check out for Atascocita. And the second one's good. So the Eagles continue their 13-4 run here to open up this ball game. That's big pressure right there. They tried to press him, but no good here. Nice fake move, and this one's thrown away, recovered by the Eagles. Nice recovery there by A.J. Smith. Smith down over to Edwards. Edwards going to try for three, and it's good. So Eagles going to continue the huge run. 16-4 to open up this ball game. Eagles continued to still try to put the press on St. Paul. Ben going to do the handling, and it's recovered by White. Nice play there by White over to Smith. Back to Edwards. Edwards to Shad. Shad back to Smith. Smith misses for two, but a nice rebound there by White. Big pressure in the middle, and the big man's going to get a foul drawn against him. Great play there by White. Going to send him to the line for the third time. 3 for 4 in free throws so far. 14:03 left here in the first half of basketball here at St. Paul Johnson High School. And that one good for White.
Clark returned for the Governors.
Governors going to have to make some substitutions. Sleet, Shag, and Clark back in the game. And the second one no good for White, but nice rebound there by Atascocita. Lavelle with the rebound. Over to Shad. Shad up for two off the rim. And another rebound by Atascocita down to the big man White in the middle. Blocked, and another rebound there. Recovery. And three-point try for the Governors. This one airballed up and recovered by Lavelle down in the middle. Lavelle over to Edwards. Edwards back to Smith. And Smith lays it in. And White, the big man, draws another foul. Doing a good job in the middle so far.
Shooting ball number 33, Keelan Jackson is second. Team fourth. Fabian White to the line, shooting two.
And here in the first 7 minutes of basketball, this is the fourth time White's going to step to the free throw line. 3 for 6 so far. And the first one good.
Harris Jackson for the Eagles.
Harris going to check in the game for the Eagles. And Chad going to check out.
Terrell Spriggs checks in for the Governors.
And Spriggs going to check in for the Governors. Jackson going to check out as well. And White's second one's good, so he goes 2 for 2 on that attempt.
Makai Cannon checks in the game, replacing Fabian White.
And Cannon's going to check in the game as well. White's going to check out. There's the inbound. Back over to Schliechslag. Schliechslag back to Smith. And it's stolen away there by Atascocita, almost. Waiting to see who's got a hand on it. And it's going to be called jump ball. Possession's going to go to the Eagles. So a nice takeaway there by Atascocita.
Jump ball, possessing Governors.
Check that possession arrow facing the other direction. Apologies there. White's going to keep the ball. Johnson's going to keep the ball. And there's an inbound pass, kind of thrown away. AJ on the breakaway, and this one's off the rim. But Edwards able to tip it in for 2. So the Eagles continue this huge run to open the ball game. They lead up 21-4 here in the first 7 minutes. And a foul going to be called against number 20, Cannon, for Atascocita. His first foul of the afternoon. And Gill going to check in now for the game for the Governors. Smith going to check out.
Brandon Gill checks in for the Governors.
So there's the inbound. Smith with the ball. Over to Clark up top. Clark back over to Schliechslag. Clark down the middle, tries a layup, no good. Rebound by the Governors, but almost knocked out of bounds. And great job getting pressure there by Atascocita. Another takeaway and turnover. And over to LaVille. LaVille's going to drive down the middle, and good. The big run continues for Atascocita. It's 23-4 your score. And that one going to be knocked out by Cannon. But Rollins is now going to check in for Atascocita. Edwards going to check out. 12:40 remaining here in the first half of basketball here at St. Paul Johnson High School. In the 2015 St. Paul Johnson Winter Showcase #1. So there's the inbound. Over to Spriggs. Spriggs, the big man in the middle for the Governors. Back out to Gill in the middle. Gill over to Schliechslag at the bottom. Schliechslag up the middle. And foul call in the middle on number 20, Cannon. His second foul of the afternoon. Schliechslag's going to come to the line for the free throws. First one good. Harrison and Peacock going to check in the game. Cannon and Smith going to check out. And rebound there by the Governors. Clark with the rebound that time for SPJ. And layup try, no good, but another rebound. Spriggs with that one. And three-point try for the Governors. No good, but another rebound. And the Eagles going to get called for a foul. Going to go against Brandon LaVille for Atascocita. Just catching the hand.
Smith and Benton return to the Governors.
Against Schliechslag for the Governors. 12:04 remain. Eagles to open up this ball game on a 23-5 run. There's the inbound just off LaVille's foot. Out of bounds. Governors going to keep possession. Inbounded over to Schliechslag. Schliechslag back to Gill. Down to the middle against Benton. Eagles keeping that tight pressure going. And this one going to be thrown away, out of bounds. Eagles will get possession back. As another turnover for the Governors. Been the story so far here in the first 8 minutes of this game. So LaVille going to do the inbounding. Over to Rollins. Rollins tried past to Peacock and it's stolen away. A turnover that time for the Governors. Here's a drive down the middle, off the rim. And LaVille with a nice rebound. Going to get out to Rollins here on the fast breakaway. Back to Harris. Harris to Harrison. And tried down the middle to Peacock, and another one taken away. And they're going to get the Governors out of bounds that time. So the Eagles get possession back. So LaVille going to do the inbounding. Back over to Harris. Harris to LaVille down low. LaVille for three, and off the rim, no good. Rebound by the Governors. Sleeslack back in the middle to Gill. Gill back to the middle. And two-point try, no good. And recovered by Peacock. Nice rebound there in the middle. Peacock back down to Harris. Harris to LaVille. Fakes a move. And down to the middle, it's blocked. But Peacock on the recovery, kind of thrown up there. No good. And who wants it in the middle? And it's recovered by the Governors. Down in the middle to Smith. Smith back to Gill, and Gill's fouled.
Personal foul number 0, Joe Rollins.
Foul going to go against Joe Rollins. His first. Of course, Rollins the lone freshman on this roster. And Gill's first one going to be good. Moore's going to check in the game for Atascocita. And Gill's second one's good. So Rollins over to LaVille. LaVille to Harrison, the sophomore. And this one's stolen away by the Governors. And big pressure in the middle by Atascocita. Parker, the ball handler. Over to Benton. Benton with the two-point try. Benton travels, so Eagles get the possession back. 10:35 remain here in the first half. So Rollins, your ball handler. Rollins is back over to LaVille down low. LaVille, a lot of pressure on him. Seeing some good defense there from the Governors. Trying to get away. And this one's knocked away, and who's going to get it out of bounds? And it's going to roll close to out of bounds, but Moore with a nice rebound. And foul. Check that. Moore's going to be called for travel. So some substitutions as White, Moorhead, Edwards. Basically, the starting lineup's going to come back into the game. That's Shad, Moorhead, Edwards, White, and Wilrod all checking back in for the Eagles. So a deep inbound pass there for the Governors. 23 Gill with the ball right now. Gill over to Parker. Driving down the lane. A nice defense. Eagles get their hands up and recovered by the Governors. 3 straight rebounds, 4-shot Smith. And there you go. Nice rebound there from Fabian White for Atascocita. And Governors going to be called for a foul against White. Big man's drawn 5 fouls already here in the first 10 minutes of this ball game. He's already been to the line 4 times. So he's certainly making his presence felt. So Edwards into Shad. Shad over to Moorhead. Moorhead back to Edwards. Back to Moorhead. Back to Shad up top. Shad to Edwards. Edwards for 3, and it's good. Edwards with his 3rd three-pointer of the game. So another steal there from Fabian White. White back over to Edwards. Oh, alley-oop right off the top of the net. Just unsuccessful, couldn't convert. So here's the fast break there for Atascocita. Or check that for the Governors. And an offensive foul going to be called against the Governors on number 4, Carlin Clark. So 9:17 remains here in the first half. Eagles start this game on a 14-1 run. It's now a 26-7 run. Still a huge margin. They lead it by 19. So White down to Edwards at the bottom, up top to Shad. Shad to the middle. This one, another alley-oop try, no good. quick break there for Johnson. And this is 2-point good. Number 4, Carlin Clark. So down to Edwards in the middle. Edwards up top to Shad. And Shad for 3, good! So the Eagles really hitting 3-pointers here early in this ball game. Their 5th they've already hit. So here's a response back from the Governors. Air ball, and nice rebound there by Moorhead. Moorhead over to Wilrod. Wilrod back over to Edwards. Edwards again for 3, off the rim. And foul going to be called in the middle on White. So after drawing 5 fouls, White gets called for a foul of his own.
That puts the Governors in the bonus. Second foul on White.
His second foul of the afternoon. And that'll bring Jackson, the sophomore center, to the line, shooting 2. Oh, the first one good. And here's the second one from Jackson. And Jackson goes 2 for 2 on free throws.
Dan Foster checks in for the Governors.
Foster going to check in for SPJ. Jackson going to check back out. So Shad with the ball over to Edwards. Edwards going to do the bringing in duties. Edwards back over to Moorhead up top. Moorhead to Wilrod in the middle. Wilrod back to White down low. White throws it down for the dunk. So there's the inbound from the Governors. Huge pressure in the middle. You see Wilrod and Edwards around, and they're going to get the Governors for traveling. So 8:02 remain here in the first half of basketball here at St. Paul Johnson High School. As the Task City Eagles taking on the St. Paul Johnson Governors. Edwards inbound over to Shad. Back to Edwards. Edwards up top to Shad. Shad awful close to that baseline. Shad bringing it into the hole, and this one's good for 2. Eagles scoring early, something they couldn't do early in this ball game. They find themselves here on a huge run to open up this ball game. And a nice recovery there by Moorhead. Moorhead back over to Shad. Shad to White in the middle. White throws it down again. Unbelievable dunk again, back-to-back there for White.
Count the basket. Fouls on number 23, Brendan Gill.
And they're going to get the Governors also for a foul. Going to bring White back to the line. White 5 for 8 in free throws today. Opened up the ball game with 2 free throws early on. White's free throw, no good. Inbound back for the Governors. Here's a 2-point try off the rim. And a nice rebound there by St. Paul Johnson. They lay it in for 2. Benson with the shot there for St. Paul Johnson. Edwards, your ball handler, going to shoot for 2 from the top, and this one's good. You hear the Atascocita Eagles fans starting to get into it as Parker slips and falls, recovered by Moorhead. Moorhead back down to Wilrod. Wilrod's good for 2. The Eagles' hands continue to stay hot here in the first half of basketball. And blocking foul is going to be called against Atascocita. Against number 14, Stephen Moorhead. That'll bring Savion Parker to the line. 6:45 remain here in the first half. As Harrison about to check back into the game for Atascocita. And Harrison's first one good. Check that, Harrison and LaVille going to check in.
Brooks LaVille and Harrison check back in for the
So Parker hit his first attempt. Here's the second one. And this one no good. Nice rebound there by Wilrod for Atascocita. Wilrod over to Edwards, close to that baseline.
Foul number 5, Savion Parker.
And foul's going to be called against number 5, Savion Parker. That'll bring Edwards to the line. Edwards had the hot hand so far for Atascocita. Already 3 3-pointers from him here in the first half of this ball game. And the free throw try good from Carson Edwards. So here's the second attempt. And this time it's no good. Rebound by St. Paul Johnson. Over to Smith. Smith almost throws that one away to Parker, but it's recovered by LaVille. Eagles doing a lot of turnover. This one down the middle to Shad. Shad with a fancy layup. Extending this huge Eagles lead in this ball game. So down the middle to Smith, and Smith, offensive foul going to be called. So Eagles will get the possession back. It's called against the senior Smith. His first foul of the afternoon. Wilrod going to inbound to Edwards. Edwards, your ball handler, down low. Back to Shad in the middle. Shad with the pressure on him, down in the middle to Wilrod, and Wilrod off the rim. Nice rebound there by Harrison, but Harrison, ball slips out of his hands, goes out of bounds. So Schlitzlack going to do the inbounding for the Governors. Eagles are going to try to keep the pressure on St. Paul. There's the inbound there to Parker. And almost another takeaway for Atascocita, doing a good job keeping those hands up, getting them right in the face of the Governors. As 5:53 remain here in the first half of basketball in the Atascocita's second and final game here at the 2015 SPJ Winter Showcase #1. So Edwards, your ball handler. Back to LaVille in the middle. And LaVille is going to throw it down for 2. 44-14. Atascocita with a 30-point lead here in the ball game.
Timeout, Governors.
And the Governors are going to take a timeout, so they'll take a timeout on the court. We'll take a timeout here on TexanLive.com.
If you want a real authentic Texas barbecue, you need to come to Tin Roof. We've been doing barbecue for 12 years, and we're just a little mom and pop barbecue joint. Everything is cooked fresh here. We have brisket, sausage, chicken that's cooked fresh every day, ribs cooked fresh every day. We have the world's best turkey, and then we do like 15 side dishes, and the side dishes are all from scratch. On Friday and Saturday night we have live music. We'll have a band playing outside. So if you get a chance, come by and see me.
And welcome back out to St. Paul Johnson High School. You see the score up on the top of your screen. Atascocita Eagles lead it 44-14 here over the St. Paul Johnson Governors. 5 minutes, 38 seconds remain here in the first half of basketball. As a huge afternoon from every Atascocita Eagles player. So there's the inbound from LaVille to Shad. Over to Harrison, back to Shad. Shad to Edwards. Edwards at the bottom. Back over to Shad up top. And Shad for 3. And this one's good. Eagles hot hands at 3 points continues. So a foul going to be called against Benton. check that. Foul's going to be called. It's against Ben. Sorry. Thought I had that backwards for a second. So Eagles will get the possession back. So LaVille inbound to Shed. All the Itasca City Eagles players on this team, at least the starters as much, continuing with the hot hands. Back down the middle, Shed. Shed into Wilrod. Wilrod to LaVille. Back to Shed. Shed for two. This one good. Itasca City Eagles continue their huge lead. So Governor's going to keep the possession. Edwards for three. And Edwards missed opportunity there. Rebound that time by Johnson. And a steal away back down to LaVille. LaVille lays it in for two. And the Itasca City Eagles continue their huge first half. As Smith, your ball handler, down to Schleechslag, and this one's thrown away. Thrown down to Shed. Shed layup try continues to stay hot as Martinez, Coach Martinez that is, ready to do some subbing down there. Has 4 different guys ready to go. That's huge guarding there. This one's stolen away by LaVille. LaVille down the middle to Edwards. And Edwards good for two. Edwards already in double digits for points. So here's a 2-point try for the Governors. No good. Rebound, but out of bounds. It'll be a Tascasita ball. As Harris, Rollins, Smith, and Peacock all going to check into the game for Tascasita. Harrison going to be the only one that's going to stay out there on the floor. So Rollins off the fingertips of Harris, out of bounds. It'll be Johnson's possession. 3:31 remains here in the first half. Atascocita really opening it up here way early in this ball game. As Gill bringing the ball back. This one's stolen away by Rollins. Rollins down to Harris, and Harris shot blocked, but a foul going to be called against the Governors. And that'll bring Harris to the line.
Shooting ball number 3, Derek Schleechlag.
Going to be called on number 3, Derek Schleechlag.
Harris to the line, shooting 2.
Harris to the line, going to shoot 2. And first one good. And there's the second one, no good, out of bounds, off Smith's hands. Johnson will keep the possession. So here's the inbound back for the Governors over to Schleechlag. Back in the middle to Gill. Gill to Smith. Smith back to Schleechlag. And shots blocked there. Nice block by A.J. Smith. Foul going to be called against him, though. And that'll send the 6'5" center, junior center, Daniel Foster to the line to shoot 2. And first one no good from Foster. 2:57 remains here in the first half. That's right, folks, the first half of basketball here at St. Paul Johnson High School. Eagles only put up 61 points last night. Already close to that number here in the first half. As Rollins into Smith. Smith back to the outside of Harris. But tipped off Harris's hands and out of bounds. Governors will get the possession back. Gill going to bring the ball back in for the Governors. Over to Smith. Smith, three-point try, no good. And Peacock there with a nice rebound for Atascocita. Back over out to Harrison. Harrison to Rollins. Up top, back to Smith in the middle. Peacock down in the lane. Back to Harrison on the outside. It passes back down to Peacock. Peacock's going to lay it up for two. The big man in the middle, Donze Peacock, good. So here's Harrison back with the inbound over to Rollins. Rollins down low to Harrison. Back to the middle to Smith, to the outside. Smith in the middle. Smith for 2 points, no good off the rim, but Peacock lays it in for two more. Back-to-back shots for Donze Peacock. The big man in the middle for Atascocita. Ball's going to go off the Eagles' fingers, and Johnson Governors are going to keep possession as they now lead 60-15 with 1:57 remaining here in the first half of basketball. So Gill going to bring the ball up, and he runs over the big man. And he's going to be called for a called for an offensive foul there. And Peacock's not a little guy, folks. That's a tough man to knock down in the middle. So Rollins going to be the ball handler. Rollins over to Smith in the middle. Smith down to the middle and Peacock. But it's out of bounds. And off Schlichtslag fingers, Eagles are going to keep possession. So Harris going to do the inbounding. Harris to the big middle, Peacock back to Harris. Harris for three, off the rim, no good. Rebound there by St. Paul Johnson, but off his foot. Eagles will keep the possession again. As Cannon's going to check in, Peacock's going to check out. Peacock just came over from football as the Atascocita Eagles football team went 4 rounds deep, so this is his first, it's checked out his second game. Well, technically his first because he didn't see any action last night, but his first week back here at the basketball program at Atascocita. As Smith over to Harrison. Harrison back to Rollins up top. Rollins back to Harris. Harris for three, no good. But a nice rebound there by Atascocita, but it's stolen away there by the Governors. And on the fast breakaway, shots blocked and blocked again. It'll go out of bounds, but a nice block there by Cannon for Atascocita. So there's the inbound from the Governors. And a foul going to be called there against number 15, A.J. Smith. As Moore going to get ready to check in for Atascocita. Going to bring Ben to the line. 1:02 remain here in the first half of basketball. As Ben's first one's good. So Moore going to check in, Smith going to check out. And Benton's second one good, so 60-17 is your score now here at SPJ High School in St. Paul, Minnesota. So Rollins ball handler, back over to Cannon. Cannon down low to Harris. Harris back in the middle with Cannon, back up top to Harrison. Harrison's going to drive down the middle, lose the ball, but going to be called for travel. Governors will get the possession back. So there's the inbound. Schlichtslag back over to Benton. Benton, your handler. Two shots blocked. Blocked again, but a foul this time going to be called against the big man Moore in the middle. And that's going to bring Benton back to the line, shooting two. And Ben's first one is good. And Benton's second one's good, so Benton stays perfect in free throws. 4 for 4. Foster going to check in, Benton going to check out for the Governors. So Cannon the inbound. Over to the freshman Rollins. Rollins back over to Cannon in the middle. To Harrison, back to Harris. Harris to Moore. Moore back over to Rollins. Back to Harris. Harris going to drive towards the hoop and off the rim, out of bounds. It'll be Governor's possession. 9 seconds remain here in this first half. Yes, folks, that's right, the first half of basketball here at St. Paul Johnson High School in St. Paul, Minnesota. So there's the inbound for the Governors. They're going to just obviously hold this ball for this last shot. And 3, 2, final shot of the first half, no good. So that's your halftime score. The Atascocita Eagles lead it 60-19. We'll be back here in about 10 minutes here on TexanLive.com. And about ready to get the second half of basketball underway. 18 more minutes to go here in the St. Paul Johnson Classic Showcase of 2015. The Atascocita Eagles lead it 60-19 over the Governors. As Edwards going to inbound it over to Shed. Shed taking it down the middle. Back in the middle to White. White back to Wilrod. Back over to Shed up top. And a foul going to be called, a holding foul going to be called against number 2, Savion Benton. His second foul. So Edwards will bring the ball back in for Atascocita. Edwards going to kind of just throw that one away. It'll go out of bounds. And Atascocita will keep possession as it barely touched a Governor's fingertips. So Edwards back into Wilrod. Wilrod back over to Edwards in the middle. Back to White up top. Back over to Wilrod down low. Wilrod in the middle to White. And White's just going to almost lay that one in for a fingertip, but a nice assist there by the Atascocita Eagles as White finished. It went Wilrod, White, Wilrod, White. Back and forth there. Nice shot there by the Governors. There's a quick throw down to White. White back over to Shed, and Shed good for 2. Back over to Benton in the middle. Benton, field goal try, no good. Recovered there by the Governors, and that time nice rebound there by Wilrod. But it's off Wilrod's knee, just couldn't hang on to the ball, and goes out of bounds. The Governors will keep the possession. So LaVille checking into the game for Atascocita. So a drive to the lane, that time foul going to go against Carson Edwards. Check that. Foul going to go against number 1, Brandon LaVille for Atascocita. So here's the inbound for the Governors. Down in the middle to Parker. Parker to the outside. And this one no good there. Nice rebound from White. White back over to Shed. Shed to LaVille. LaVille on the layup. Good for 2. Down to Schlag up at the bottom. And here's a 3-point shot for the Governors off the rim. And they're nice out of bounds. That was stolen away by Carson Edwards for Atascocita. Back in the middle of White. Alley-oop off the rim. They can't just buy one of those. Atascocita third try, been unsuccessful. Here's a shot down to the middle by the Governors. This one good. Number 4, Clark. And Wilrod's pass is stolen away by St. Paul Johnson. Here's a run down the court. Edwards with almost a nice rebound there. Tried to get his hands up, no block. There's another shot made there by St. Paul Johnson. On a little bit of a run here to start this second half. As Shed with the ball. Down the middle, looking for an open man. Back over to Edwards. Edwards for three. Off the rim, no good, but Wilrod with a nice rebound. And one of the referees is going to get the Governors for a foul. It's going to go against number 2, Benton, for the Governors. Atascocita will have possession. Is White going to do the inbounding? They're going to say he stepped across the line that time. No in basketball. So 15:40 remains here in the second half. Governors have possession of the ball. Pass over to Smith. Down low. Smith in the middle to Schlitzlag. Trying to make a move. And shots blocked. And able to be tipped in by Andre Smith. So Shed with the ball. Back to the outside to Edwards. Edwards over to LaVille. LaVille down the middle. And LaVille just off his fingertips there. And could not be rebounded there for Atascocita. Down in the up top to Schlitzlag. Schlitzlag in the middle. And this one off the rim, but there Wilrod with a nice rebound. Back over on the outside to Shed. Shed down to Edwards. Edwards going to drive. And just off the rim. But the Governor's going to be called for a foul. Benton going to get another one. So that'll bring Carson Edwards to the line. Benton's 4th foul of the afternoon.
Edwards in the line.
And Edwards' first one's good. And here's Edwards' second try, and this one's good. So Edwards 2 for 3 on free throws there for that opportunity. Eagles continue with that commanding lead here with 14:37 remaining in the game. So Schlitzlag down the middle, nice between the legs pass and blocked by White, but a rebound there. And the Eagles going to get called for a foul. That time Matt Wilrod going to be guilty of that one. So that'll bring Schlitzlag to the line.
Number 32, Matt Wilrod.
He'll shoot 2.
Schlitzlag to the line.
And first one off the rim, no good. And here's the second one from Schlitzlag. And this one's good, so Schlitzlag goes 2 for 2. Or check that 1 for 2 in free throws. As Edwards, your ball handler. Over to LaVille. Phil down the middle to White. White up top to Shed. Shed back in the middle, LaVille. And LaVille good for 2. Nice shot there by Brandon LaVille. Back on the outside to Clark. Clark up top to Smith. Smith down to the bottom to Schlitzlag. Back over to Smith. Smith back over to Clark. Driving to the lane and off the rim, but a nice rebound there by Schlitzlag, and this one good for 2. And stolen away by the Governors. Here's a 3-point attempt from St. Paul Johnson, no good, but a rebound there by Clark. White with good defense, and White steals that one away for Atascocita. White down to Shed. Shed back to Edwards. Edwards lays it in for 2. So this one out of bounds. Thrown away by the Governors. Atascocita is going to get possession. So here's the inbound to Edwards. Edwards, your ball handler. And here's a shot for 3, no good. A nice rebound there by the Governors. Quick move to the middle. And the lay in there. Shot Savion Parker. So Shed over to White. White gonna drive it down to the middle. Gonna give it to LaVelle. LaVelle's good for 2. Here's a quick throw in from Smith. And Edwards that time with the rebound. Edwards gonna drive it down himself.
Out the basket.
And
Foul number 5,
Edwards shot good. Gonna bring him to the line after a foul. So Coach Martinez going to do some substituting as Moorhead, Cannon, and Harrison all going to check into the game for Atascocita. Along with Harris, he's also going to check in the ball game for Atascocita. So the only one that's going to stay in there is Edwards, but it looks like he'll come out and Rollins will go in after Edwards' 3 free throw attempts. As that one goes good. And here's the inbound. Parker, your ball handler. Parker to Smith. Up top. Smith going to drive towards the middle, give it back to Parker. Parker to the middle. And it looks like a foul is going to be called in the middle. Foul's going to go against number 4, Jairus Harris for Atascocita. Here's the inbound, just going to kind of be tossed up in the air by St. Paul Johnson. The Eagles playing good defense, playing a fantastic ball game. They lead by a bunch here in their final game of the St. Paul Johnson Classic of 2015. Looking to go 2-0 here in the tournament. And a shot made there by Savion Parker. And a foul going to go against number 5, Devin Harrison. Got to bring Benton to the line. 11:59 remain here in the second half of this game. And free throw tried, no good. Nice rebound there by Harrison. Harrison back over to Rollins, over to Moorhead. And Moorhead going to get called for a travel. Looks like Smith's going to check into the game for Atascocita. Cannon going to check out. Now here's the inbound from the Governors. Parker going to bring it back. Parker down the middle, going to drive towards the hole. Shot no good. Nice rebound there by Moorhead. So Moorhead down top, and this one's stolen away. Tried to pass it to Harrison, no avail. Here's a fast break for the Governors, and a foul called there against Atascocita. Foul going to be called against the freshman Rollins.
Team Smith. So Smith to the line.
And first one no good. Schleich and Smith going to check back in the game for the Governors. And here's the second try from Gill. This one good. So Rollins with the ball. Back up top to Moorhead. Moorhead looking down lane, pass it back over to Harrison. Harrison back up top to Rollins. Rollins in the middle to Smith. Rollins back with the ball. Back in the middle, Harrison. Harrison drives down the lane. And the layup's off the rim. And a nice rebound there. Harrison recovers his own shot and able to lay that one in for 2. Smith with the ball. Back up top to Parker. Parker in the middle, and Parker's tripped up and fouled by the Eagles. Call go against Harrison that time. .10:42 remain here in the ballgame, the Atascocita's final game here in St. Paul, Minnesota. There's the inbound. Gill with the ball. Let's check that. Smith with the ball. Over to the middle of Parker. Harrison playing good defense right there for the Eagles. Here's a drive to the lane. This one's blocked by Smith. But they're going to get Harrison with another foul. Which will bring Parker to the line for the Governors. And Parker's first one good. Well, here's Parker's second try. He goes 2 for 2 there on the free throw. So Smith's going to inbound for Atascocita. Over to Rollins. Rollins with the ball. Dribbles down the middle. Back over to Harris. Harris in the middle. And off the rim, no good. There for Jairus Harris of the Eagles. It's a quick pass by Johnson. Back over the middle, almost stolen away by Smith. But there's a 2-point layup by Brandon Gill for the Governors. Rollins with the rock. Back over to Moorhead. Moorhead back down low to Harris. Harris back over to Moorhead. Moorhead back to Smith. Here's Smith for 2, off the rim, no good. But a nice steal there by the Eagles. Back over to Moorhead. Moorhead wanted the 3, but no try there, and a nice foul. Called there against the Governors. Schlag going to be the guilty party. His third foul of the afternoon. So here's Moorhead with the free throw. And first one off the back of the rim, no good. The second one for Moorhead, this one good. So inbound back by Smith. Smith back over the top to Gill. Gill with the ball. Back down the middle to Jackson. And Jackson's fouled by Harrison. Eagles about to do some more substituting and bringing the starters back in the game. As Jackson's going to come to the line for the free throws. Wilrott, LaVille, White, Edwards, and Chet all going to check back into the game for Atascocita. And that one good as well from Jackson. All the starters back into the game for Atascocita, with the exception of Moorhead, but once LaVille came in early, LaVille's seen more minutes than Moorhead has today. And that one good as well. So Edwards going to bring the ball back in for Atascocita. Back down low to Shed. Shed back over the middle to White. White back to the outside to Edwards. To Shed in the middle. And LaVille's going to drive to the hoop. This one good. So here's the inbound back. Clark has the ball. Clark back over the top to Gill. Gill back in the middle to Smith. Smith at the bottom. White playing some tough defense there. And a quick pass to the outside. This one thrown away. Going to be a Atascocita Eagles ball. So LaVille back into Shed. Shed back to the top to Edwards. Edwards back over to White. White back over to Shed. Shed with the ball doing some fancy moves there, but kind of just slips out of his hands, and there's a turnover for Shed, but this one out of bounds. Look out down there, announcers. And scorekeeper almost ran right into the booth down there. So here's the inbound for the Governors. Parker has the ball. Back over to Clark. Clark dribbles to the inside. Back to Benton. And Benton's going low. Oh, off the rim. Thought that one was going to fall, but it goes out of Benton's hands and off White's hands. Going to stay Johnson possession. So here's the inbound for the Governors. Phil doing a good job getting some pressures. There's a quick inbound. Just tipped by Atascocita. And the Governors will try it again. And some nice pressure there by Brandon LaVille for Atascocita. So Clark going to do the inbounding for the Governors. Quick pass down to Gill. Gill driving towards the basket, blocked by White, recovered by Edwards. Here's a quick throw down to LaVille. Back over to Shed, and Shed good for two. Some fancy basketball there from Atascocita. They continue to play well this afternoon. As LaVille that time is going to be called for a foul.
Personal foul number 1, Brandon Brooks LaVille. His third, team's ninth. It'll send Gill to the line. Send Parker to the line, 2 to the line, 1.
So 6:05 remaining in this ball game here in the Atascocita Eagles. Final game here in Minnesota. They were victorious against De La Salle yesterday. As there's the free throw from Parker. That's good. And here's the second one. This one good as well. So we're going to do the inbounding. Back into Edwards. Edwards back down to Shed. Shed over to Wilrod in the middle. Wilrod to White down. Oh, almost a dangerous pass, but LaVille able to recover. Almost thrown out of bounds, but White used his size that time in the middle. So Gill back over the top to Smith. Smith is going to try to find an open man here. Eagles been doing a great job of playing defense. Here's Wilrod now on a guard him. Smith's just going to have to chunk this one up to his big man in the middle. And just off the rim, and a great rebound there. You had 3 Eagles there and only 1 Governor. Back down to Edwards. Edwards over to White, and just off White's hands. Tried the alley-oop and no good. Couple times those two have tried that today and just haven't had any luck. So Smith with the ball. Back down to Clark. This one's kind of just bounced off Gill's chest. And they're going to get Gill called for a backcourt. So Eagles will get the possession back. And they're going to do some substituting as Peacock, Rollins, Harrison, Cannon, and Moorhead can all come back in the game. So probably the starters are done as 3:50 remain here in the ball game. There's Cannon over to Harrison. Or check that over to Rollins. Rollins dribbles down, gives the ball to Harrison in the middle. Back over to Cannon. Cannon over to Moorhead. And Moorhead almost, but the big man able to pick it up Peacock, but it's stolen away there. And here, Governor's on the fast break. And here's a three-point try, no good. Nice rebound there by Moorhead. Moorhead back down in the middle over to Rollins. Rollins down to the bottom to Cannon. Cannon looking for an open man, finds Moorhead, but a foul going to be called there against the Governors. Number 3. Sleet flag for Johnson. So Harrison going to do the inbounding for Atascocita. 2:52 remain here in the ball game as the clock continues to tick. As Harrison has the ball. Back in the middle to Peacock. Peacock's going to lay it up, almost in and out of the bucket for 2. The big man in the middle almost scored 2. The Eagles will keep possession out of the ball. Went off the Governor's hands, out of bounds. Here's the inbound back to Peacock, and this time Peacock lays it in for 2. So back over the top to the Governors. Parker with the ball. 2:11 remain here in the ball game. Over to Benton, and Peacock did a good job getting his hands up that time. But a foul going to be called against number 14, Moorhead, for Atascocita. Parker's going to come to the line to shoot 2. 1:45 remain here in the ball game. First one good. And here's the second one from Parker. This one good as well. So here's the inbound. Moorhead with the ball. Over to Rollins, the freshman. Down to the bottom to Harrison. Harrison back to the middle to Cannon. And Cannon's good for 2. So a minute 12 left in this ball game. Smith with the ball. And just try to hold it. Wind some clock down in this game. Under a minute now. 58 seconds remain. And here's Sleevslag in the middle. That one's good. So Rollins with the ball in the middle. Looking for an open man. Back to the top to Harrison. Here's Harrison for 3. Air ball no good, but Cannon with a nice rebound, and Cannon lays it in for 2. So Johnson quick on the fast break, and this one laid in for 2. Under 30 seconds, actually 17 seconds remain here in the game. As Cannon has the ball in his possession, over to Moorhead. Moorhead just going to kind of hold on to it. The Eagles may get one last shot here. 7 seconds remain. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's your ball game. The Atascocita Eagles go 2-0 here in the 2015 St. Paul Johnson Winter Showcase #1 as they defeat last night the De La Salle Islanders and today the St. Paul Johnson Governors. Congrats to the Eagles on a great 2-0 victory weekend. And folks, we appreciate you as always listening to us here on TexanLive.com. We'll see you next week. This is Forrest Cox signing off. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
The new home of high school sports.